Hey everybody, here we are. I've got some time that I can work on my big plane again. It'll be my FB Albatros. It's 3 o'clock in the morning and I think it's about 52 degrees here in my garage right now. I gotta dig my propane heater out next time I'm out here. It's getting chilly. But anyway, I've got some time and I wanted to work on my big plane a little bit. I wanted to show you guys a little bit about what I've been doing with it. First thing, I want to bring you over here and show you the fuselage here. Let me get the camera turned around here. See, I've got the way I had it before. I actually only had I had this long lower part of the fuselage and then this upper part of the fuselage. Well, because of the motor I'm going to be using and the bigger prop that I'm going to be using, because I think the prop is going to turn out, I think it's going to be like a 19-inch prop. So you know, I needed some clearance here on the back. I mean, I've just got my initial sample piece that I made up here just so I can kind of see what I'm looking at. But you know, it's going to be a you know, real big prop sitting back here, so I figured I needed to raise all of this higher, obviously, so it doesn't hit the fuselage. So I went ahead and made another section, and that sits in there like that. That's kind of cool. You see here on the inside there, I actually made a I don't know, like a cross piece or an X, and it actually really stiffens this up. It makes that a lot more rigid. So I'm going to make up a couple more of those and stick those each of this 3 sections, just for a little strength and, you know, rigidity. But yeah, that's that part. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, now you have to give me a second. I got to get the camera repositioned and I'll show you what I'm up to with the wing. So just a second. Okay, here we are. We got the backs. Well, this would be the far right section of the wing, the far right wingtip. Because I've got, you see the center section down there with my king post down there, and that comes all the way down here to here. Now, remember in my previous videos, my idea was with this to have the support lines, and actually because of Ed with Experimental Airlines, he was helping me out with some of the terminology. But actually, they're not called support lines, even though that's kind of what they do. You've got ground lines and you've got flight lines. Now, the ground lines are the lines that keep the wing from sagging when the plane is on the ground, and your flight lines keep your wing from folding up when you're flying, due to lift. So what I've got is I've got this piece here in the center. Actually, you know what? Hang on. I'm gonna readjust the camera and we'll see if I can do this a little better. Just a second. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Okay, for the I was talking about the ground lines and the flight lines. Now the ground lines, what I was thinking of, because the wing, it's really not gonna weigh that much. I don't think it's going to be really all that heavy. So what I've got is I've got a piece of, this is just a piece of scrap wood. It's 3/4 of an inch across here, and it's 3/4 of an inch here. It's 1.5 inches tall, and that sits down here in between my rib. Sorry, I wasn't even paying attention. I didn't have that in the camera view. I'm sorry. It's 3 1/4 inches across here and 1.5 inches tall here. Okay, so got my piece down here in between my 2 ribs, and I've got an eye bolt up here. Now this eye bolt goes through here, and it's actually threaded into a T-nut or a blind nut. You know, it depends on I guess where you are, what you call them. But you know, I drilled a 1/4 inch hole all the way through, and I pounded that in there, and then my eye bolt threads into that, and that goes right there. And if we, whoops, wrong way, back this out. See, and here on the other side, or on the leading edge and the trailing edge, I've got these two little pieces of scrap wood. This will be, it's a 1/2 inch tall and 3/4 inch wide, just so it'll sit down in here, you know, behind my PVC tubes here, especially here at the back, so it doesn't actually interfere with the airfoil. But those will sit there, and what I'm going to do is from the underside of the wing, well actually what I'll probably end up doing is I'll probably just run a pilot bit through the T-nut here all the way through to mark my hole on the other side, then come back through the other side with 1/4 inch to allow for another eye bolt to come through and thread into this. I'll do that on both these. And actually here on my wing, I've got, let me see here, get the camera over here again. Where my king post is, the way I've got these laid out is I'm doing it, I'm counting the cavities between the ribs as far as placement. And what I decided on, so it was, you know, relatively even and, you know, symmetrical, kind of, sorta, is from my king post, I counted over 1, 2, 3, 4 cavities. The 5th one will be where my first set of line hooks will be. These will actually be over here. And then I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the 6th one, that one goes there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th one goes there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the last one goes down there. So that's pretty much what I've decided to do with that. I'll show you how I set these up. Let's come on down to this one, because the other 3 I've already done. I just wanted to make sure that I understood what I was doing. Sorry about the earthquake. Okay, so I've got yeah, this is my centerpiece. This will be for my ground line support that comes up the top. Set that over here aside. Here's my 2 pieces for my flight lines that'll have the eye bolts coming from the bottom. And actually what I did is I cut, this is just a thin ply, it's like 3/16, and I cut it, what I think it's 3.5 by 13. I just went ahead and cut all of them that way, just so it was easier. It would help save me some time instead of actually, you know, fitting them per cavity. But the wing cord, you know, where the paper is on the inside here, when I laid these out, I measured that at 13.25 inches. So these here are 13. So you know, these fit in there pretty well. And what I've got here, I have 4 of these little wires. It's just that safety wire or mechanics wire, you know, whatever, you know, depending on, you know, what profession you're in is what you call them. But I've got 4 of these. I don't know, they're about 4.5, 5 inches long. I didn't measure them. I just kind of eyeballed them because I trim off the edges anyway. But I have my plate of wood that slides underneath all of my pieces of PVC here. And then I just took my pencil and I marked 2 holes on this side of the PVC, 2 holes on this side of the PVC, and same down here. Okay, and I slid this out, and I went ahead and drilled those holes where I marked them, because I'm taking this wire here, fold it in half, you know, so it kind of makes a V, well, like a hard U. There we go. And I'm poking these backwards through those holes. Take my little piece of wood here, so I press that good and flat. I'm pulling these forward, so I'm kind of laying them down. Do that with the rest of these here. Okay, and give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and do the other two, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're back. I've got my pieces of wire run through from the bottom side, and they're laid flat. You know, these two are pushed forward, these two are pushed back, these are forward. And what I'm going to do is I'm taking these and I'm sliding them again back underneath my pieces of PVC. Kind of bend these up a little bit so they don't poke into the foam board. Slide these underneath. Boy, that's a tight fit. Put those down there. Those down there. Boy, the other three were easier. There we go. Bend these up so it doesn't poke through the wing there. There we go. Pops right into place. Okay. Let's see if I can bring this in a little bit. Turn that a little more. And then, like here, what I'm doing is I'm taking this wire and I'm folding that over, pulling this one up, and then I'll twist them like that and get my needle nose. Sorry, I know I'm blocking the camera, I apologize. My camera presence skills, I guess, aren't really that good. I'm still learning. So twist that. Okay, and I'll do that with all four of them, and what that's doing for me, I think, pretty much, when I do that to all four of these, let me trim this here. Just trim off that excess there. I don't need that. Okay. Twisting that wire on there, it's going to hold. It's going to keep my pieces of ply in place, and what it's also going to allow me to do, I'm gonna with my ground line pieces, I'm gonna drill some holes through these and drill, you know, a pilot hole that goes all the way through, and I'm gonna run some screws up through the bottom into this, to keep that in place with, you know, probably some kind of, you know, I don't know, maybe a thin aluminum plate that goes across there, or, you know, something like that. And I'm going to do the same thing with this. You know, this is going to be down here, and have some screws come up through the bottom into, excuse me, I get the hiccups. Run some screws up through the bottom of this, and, you know, that way it's kind of, it's dispersing the load, especially on the flight lines. I think, you know, the ones from the bottom, because when the plane's flying, you know, the wings are going to want to bow up like this. And I'm really hoping that my flight lines that will be connected to the eye bolts to this, you know, they'll kind of pull on the ply, but having these twisted onto my pieces of PVC, I mean, these babies are rigid, and I really don't think that I'm going to have, you know, many issues with that. I think that there's going to be a lot of strength right there, you know, doing that with, you know, the full span of the wing. So give me a second. I'll go ahead and finish these up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so there we are. Yep, there we are. I've got my two wires tied right there, right there, right there, and right there. And these are holding up these pieces of ply, and, you know, I mean, they're not moving anywhere. And I really, the way I'm seeing this, if I put my ground line board here with my eye bolt, and then my flight line piece there. My flight line piece kind of fits snug there, doesn't it? That piece there, okay. And you know, if I drill my pilot hole through here to mark that hole, and then drill my hole here and here to run screws from the bottom up into this, then the screws will hold this piece here in place, you know, to keep that from moving. And when, and you know, again, I mean, it's going to be on this I don't even know what I want to call this, but on this section here for the ground lines and flight lines, there's another one there, another one down there, and another one down there towards the end. I really think that whatever load that is going to be applied to the flight lines, I really think that the eye bolt being threaded into this T-nut, that's being held by this piece of wood, that's being reinforced by this piece of wood, that's been attached to these pieces of PVC with this safety wire, I really think that these are going to work out pretty well for me. And if they don't, it's still going to be spectacular either way, because I mean, how many people have a 20-foot foam board plane? Now, you know, again, you know, I certainly don't mean for this plane to be any kind of a, you know, a fast flyer. I don't want it to be a fast flyer. I just want it to poke around the field, nice and slow. I hope. You know, if it's got some speed, okay, it's got some speed, but you know, just a nice slow kick back in a lounge chair and let the bugger go. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I've got done so far. I mean, I know it's not a lot. My work schedule has been kind of crazy. Excuse me. There's actually been a couple of days, you know, there's been quite a few days where I've gotten mandated for overtime, and there's been, you know, 2 or 3 days where I've signed up for overtime, just so that I can, you know, fund this plane. I was looking at some of the electronics. For the motor, it's going to be about $55. For the speed control, it's about another $55. The propeller is like $16, something like that, $16, $17, something like that. Excuse me. Some of the servos, I'm gonna need like 4 of those. You know, 2 for be 2 for the ailerons, 1 on each side, obviously. Elevator and rudder. The ones I'm kind of eyeballing, they're about $15 a piece. Yeah. And actually, somewhere along the lines here, I'm gonna have to figure out how to fashion, you know, some kind of landing gear for this thing, because I don't want it to be a belly lander. Have to figure out how to actually attach the wing to the fuselage. I think I know how I want to do that. I'm not sure yet. I'll play around with that idea and I'll get back with you guys and show you. But that's pretty much what I've been up to today. I mean, I took my helicopter out for a little bit and had some really ugly vibrations, so I shut it off. I did manage to take my Experimental Airlines wing out. I played with that for quite a bit today. That was a lot of fun. I mean, it was cold today. It was like, I don't know, like 54 was the high around here, and then there was like a 10-mile-an-hour wind. It was chilly. So, yeah, you know, I still had some fun. I was talking to the wife. You know, she got off work a little bit early, so we went out and had dinner together. That was kind of nice. But I mean, this is pretty much what my wing is looking like. I don't know if you can, you can tell. I mean, I'm kind of getting progress on it. My garage is an absolute disaster. It's just ridiculous. Oh, there's my my brand new nut ball. Still waiting to take it out and play with it. I don't know, for a long time I've wanted a nut ball, so anyway. Yep, that's pretty much what I've been up to. I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have have a couple of 2 cents you want to give me about, you know, what I'm doing here with these pieces, certainly let me know. You know, it's going to be a while before I can actually close these up. So if so somebody else comes across this video, you got, you know, a better way to do this, you know, certainly let me know. One of my original ideas was to use these nylon cable clamp things, you know. I didn't really like how it was, you know, I didn't like how it was mocking up, so I just went back to the safety wire. You know, it's kind of you know, boring, and you know, maybe you know, it's quite a bit low tech, but it should work. Yep. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Take care and have fun. We'll see ya.